Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening and welcome to Primetime Local News. One more person has died from COVID in Saskatchewan. A person in the 80-plus age group from the South Zone has passed away. There are 283 new cases, including 12 in the Northwest Zone. 7 of the new cases are in the Northwest 2 subzone, which is the immediate Lloydminster area. 80 cases are active in our subzone. There are 4,116 active cases province-wide. 126 people are in hospital, including 7 in the Northwest. 25 people are in intensive care, 1 of those in our zone. 183 more people have recovered. The Lloydminster Social Action Coalition Society Drop-In Centre is operating again after being forced to close due to COVID exposure. Eric Bay has more on the centre as it prepares for Christmas.
Anticipating increased use as we near the holiday season, the Lloydminster Drop-In Centre is glad to reopen after contact tracing pinpointed a positive case between November 19th and 21st, forcing the centre to temporarily close its doors.
As we kind of look at the cold being, a potential danger for people, it's sometimes a matter of life and death for people. So the shelter is essential for not only men and women, but also men, women, and children of all ages. And we want to be able to do our part in trying to limit that barrier.
With December marking its busiest time of the year, the Drop-In Centre is looking to stock up on food, preparing for the holiday season.
Even as the weather gets colder, we're starting to see a little more numbers from people. And we just want to be prepared in terms of food, in terms of supplies, and in terms of volunteer support as well.
Gravy and pancake mix, oatmeal and brown sugar are currently needed at the center.
In terms of supplies, in terms of donations, we have a list that we typically we try to fulfill on a monthly basis. So whether it's eggs or whether it's pasta sauce, whether it's macaroni, more of our sustainable foods that we have on a daily basis.
Donations can be made at the center across the street from Mace Cinemas. Visitors will be required to wear a mask, practice social distancing, and sanitize. Eric Bay, Primetime Local News.
The Lloydminster Region Health Foundation Christmas Radiothon is taking place on December 15th. Ahead of the event, Jace Mackey chatted with Malcolm Radke to find out what the Radiothon will be focusing on.
So I'm joined with Malcolm Radke, the CEO of the Lloydminster Regional Health Foundation. Malcolm, thanks for taking some time to chat with me today.
Thanks for having me on, Jace.
So coming up soon, the Health Foundation is going to be putting on Lloydminster's Gift to Health Christmas Radiothon. First of all, can you just tell me just briefly a little bit about when it's going to be taking place and what people can expect?
Sure. So Tuesday, December 15th, just under 2 weeks from now. As you mentioned, it's our annual Christmas Radiothon. It's our second year doing it. Last year we raised 50 grand for the Pyxis medication dispensers in the hospital. This year our goal is 200 grand, looking for various patient comfort items and basically connecting isolated senior residents and hospital patients with their loved ones through the COVID lockdowns.
So can you just go a little bit more into that? $200,000 is what you're hoping to raise this year with the Radiothon. Can you go a little bit more into what that money is going to be used for?
Sure. So yeah, $200,000 total is our target for the day. Biggest item on that list is a piece of medical lab equipment that basically lets us upload fluid samples instantly for quicker diagnosis with specialists in Saskatoon, as opposed to currently what they do, which is couriering them. So that'll come at a price tag of $50,000. Outside of that, it's a lot of, like I mentioned, patient comfort items and items for isolated residents in our senior homes across the community. Portable oxygen machines so they can potentially leave the facility for an outdoor visit with loved ones over the Christmas season. Proper furnishing and plexiglass for the visitor rooms when the visitor restrictions are finally lifted. Towel warmers and blanket warmers for the cold winter nights. Ice machines to help with swelling for their wounds and items like that. Some medical defibrillators for the hospital and for each care home. And then, just simple flower arrangements that can be properly cleaned and sanitized just to decorate the place in the Christmas spirit. Items like that.
Can you just talk a little bit about the importance of kind of some of focusing on long-term care here in Lloydminster and making sure that, you know, there's comfort items and also funding for that?
Yeah, so no question with the recent lockdown announcements, a lot of households, a lot of local residents are under a lot of stress and a lot of pressure right now. And that's especially true for the residents of our local seniors homes. A lot of these individuals have dementia or early stage signs of it. And so for them, you know, loss of connection and visiting with loved ones is makes a tremendous impact on them. Even just having to see their care aides and their nurses decked out in PPE and face shields, and a lot of times unrecognizable, and can't even see the smile from behind the mask. It's really hard on those individuals, and they're even locked down in their rooms, and they can hardly see their next door neighbors in those facilities. So it's pretty rough. It's going to be a really hard Christmas season for a lot of people, especially for those residents and for the nurses as well that are doing their best to take care of them. So we're just asking the community to keep them in mind and consider donating this Christmas season. As I mentioned before, all the funds raised that day are going towards making sure that they're as comfortable as possible and help them connect with their loved ones.
And how are people able to contribute and take part on the day of the Radiothon?
For sure. So the Radiothon there's a digital stream component. So we'll be streaming on our Facebook page, facebook.com/LloydRHF, or our website, lrhf.ca. We'll have a stream on there as well. Of course, they can tune into the local radio stations and the TV stations for updates throughout the day. The way to donate would be lrhf.ca. You can go right to our donation page or the Radiothon page. That's the easiest. Of course, we are accepting donations in person, socially distanced, and by mail, but the easiest and smoothest way is of course online.
And what's it like, you know, this is the second annual, what's it like to still be able to put on this Radiothon, and especially in a year that was so chaotic and there was a lot of uncertainty?
It's going to look very different. Obviously, we're going to be in our office in the plaza downtown. We wanted to stay out of the hospital for everybody's safety and not to encourage any visitors there. So it'll have a different feel. We are set up with a show host properly distanced from guests, and yeah, it'll feel very virtual and digital this year. It was important for us. We lost over the last 6 months half a dozen of our fundraising events. The biggest one is the gala, which is a huge fundraiser for us, as well as the muck run in the spring and all sorts of golf tournaments throughout the summer. So it's been hard. The Radiothon is the one event that we can still pull off with obviously a virtual component and less live in-person interaction. You won't see the hospital traffic walking by like you would in most years, but we're just happy to put it on, and asking anybody who would typically support the gala or the golf tournaments or the muck run to consider giving to this event instead.
Well, Malcolm, thanks for taking some time to talk with me today. I really appreciated it.
Yeah, Jace, always appreciate the chance to chat, and really looking forward to the Radiothon, and really appreciate you guys covering it for us.
A display set up at Fabricland made by a local florist is hoping to get residents' attention in bringing donations for local charities. Our Shelby Clark chatted with Flowers on the Fly by Audina for more on this cause.
I'm speaking with local florist Audina Hardstaff. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing very good. And can you tell me more about Flowers on the Fly by Audina?
Flowers on the Fly by Audina is a flower shop, a little studio. I've actually renovated my garage into a shop studio. It's basically a little flower shop. I actually started about 7 years ago. This will be my 7th year. Yeah, and it's just a little business I started as a little extra income for my family, and it's kind of blown up into kind of a real deal.
And how exactly is the display that you put up at Fabricland helping support local charities?
I guess the history on it is the food bank means a lot to me. My husband and I were married and quite young, and we had little ups and downs, and I do remember a time that we needed to take advantage of the food bank, and I just think with the families and everything that we have going on with everything, I don't even want to say the word COVID, but with things, there's some hardships and stuff. The dress itself I've wanted to make for quite a while. I designed in a competition a few years ago and constructed a beautiful floral gown on a mannequin. And over the years, I've always wanted to do it. And I approached Fabricland. I guess we planted the seed last year, but I was so busy with classes. And because of COVID, I haven't had any classes, and I've had more time, and it's been on the top of my to-do list. So I created this thing and just thought, I can't keep it myself. I want to share it. And by doing so, I'd like to do some good for the community. And when I approached Bev from Fabricland, she was so gracious to give me the form and be able to display it down at her shop at Fabricland. And they got the whole staff on board for collecting food, like physical food, and as well as monetary for the food bank in Lloydminster here.
And how can residents help support this cause with you?
So they're accepting physical donations down at Fabricland. We'll be collecting them and taking them to the food banks closer to Christmas, as well as Bev has so kindly set up so that there is monetary donations that can be made, that you could call in to Fabricland and call in to do a donation if you'd like, so there's less physical contact. But if you're in there shopping and picking up materials or stuff for your crafting, you could also support while you're down there.
And has support been good so far with residents?
I delivered the dress on Wednesday, and I was just so overwhelmed at all the food that was already there. They had already started collecting, and they've got some draws and stuff like that going on as well in Fabricland. I also heard that there's another store, retail outlet in Lloyd that's actually interested in displaying the dress as well, and I just thought that was a really cool idea. So they've done a donation, and I'll be moving the dress over to another location for it to be displayed at. I believe the business is called the Silver Mannequin, so it's not very far from the Fabricland, but obviously a clothing shop. It would fit well in with what she sells and stuff like that.
And do you have more future plans for Flowers on the Fly by Idina for displays and in hope of helping local charities?
Yes, I absolutely do. This was a really something that I could showcase what I could do. I did a very basic design, very simple. I did start adding different things to it. And then I just kind of scaled it back to a very simple, clean, sparkly, kind of elegant look. The plan is to possibly next year do another one and just sort of do a little bit more, I guess, more fancier, more glam. And then possibly with word of mouth, planting the seed that possibly other businesses in Lloydminster would take a turn in donating and having the dress form displayed during the holiday season.
Perfect. Well, I think this is a great idea, Adina, and I can't wait to see what you come up with. Thanks again for joining me today.
Thank you, Shelby, so much for taking the time and having a little chat with me. It was nice to meet you. So you have yourself a wonderful day.
Now we're Connor Chan. We'll take a look at your weather forecast.
All right, thanks, Jasmine. Looking at temperatures right now, around 2 degrees, around that 2 to 0 is what we're going to see over the next little bit here. We did see lots of sunshine today and some cloud coverage. We're going to continue to see that over the weekend here. With that wind chill, it does feel a little bit more so like -5, -6. It is going to get to around 0 in the later parts of the evening. Then -5 is what we're expecting overnight tonight. But as we take a look at some other temperatures right now in the area, we're going to see 3 degrees for Vermilion, Vegreville, St. Paul, Wainwright, and Provost as well. Very warm temperatures in Edmonton, sitting at 6 right now, with Lac La Biche up north sitting at 7, and then 4 degrees in Bonnyville, Pierceland as well, with 5 in Cold Lake. We also see 2 degrees in Macklin, Maidstone as well, and then 3 degrees in St. Walburg and Isle of Cross, with 4 degrees in Green Lake and Meadow Lake. And then North Battleford, one of the lone places out there that have -3 temperatures right now. And speaking of North Battleford, as we take a look overnight tonight, -5 is what they're expecting overnight, with a little bit of cloud coverage going into tomorrow, with a daytime high of +2 with a little bit of sun and a few clouds in the forecast for tomorrow. Going into Cold Lake, kind of similar to us, they're going to see -5 as well overnight tonight, with a few clouds, going into 3 degrees tomorrow with sun and cloud mixes there. And then for us here in Lloydminster, so we'll be in that -4, -5 range for overnight tonight. Could feel more so like -11 with that wind chill. It could be more so around the 0 degrees by the time we wake up tomorrow morning, and then we go into the daytime tomorrow around the afternoon. 4 degrees is our expected daytime high, with mostly sun and a bit of cloud coverage. Now -4 is what we could see in the lower parts of the morning there. 2 degrees on Sunday with clear skies expected there. -7 the daytime low there. And then as we get into Monday, we'll have 2 degrees and a little bit more cloud coverage coming in our way here, with a low there of -3. And it could feel more so like -6 though throughout the day. But that is a look at your weather forecast for now. We'll have more primetime local news coming up after the break.
Up until this year, Lloydminster has been the Northeast hub for chuckwagon racing and will continue that into the future. The Lloyd X and the CPCA joined together to host the North American Chuckwagon Championship. Evan Kenny reports.
This year we've held many press conferences, and most of them have been to cancel events. And today we bring exciting news.
That news came yesterday as members of the Lloydminster Agricultural Exhibition Association and CPCA came together. The newly made North American Chuckwagon Championship will be hosted in Lloydminster for the next 3 years.
Lloydminster is right in the hub of chuckwagon world, right? So it's definitely a bright future here for Lloydminster and chuckwagon racing.
We've had really great relationship with the CPCA, hosting the finals for nearly 30 years, and it just seemed like a real natural fit that they would come home to create this big event, this big 9-day event.
It will be a 9-day event from July 9th to the 17th, with the last 4 days being partnered with the Lloyd X Fair. The aggregate winner from the first 8 days will win a truck, and the final dash has a prize of $100,000. After the Calgary Stampede's decision to take the CPCA drivers out in 2022, more big events will keep the region strong.
Looking to the future, we needed something for our CPCA members to strive for, right? Something to keep them around. And our goal here is to keep this Western heritage alive for as long as we can. Given our membership a chance where they can kind of make plan and strive for goals to win, it's just going to make it that much stronger.
A North American Championship had previously been held in Red Deer, but that event was limited to WPCA drivers. This will be the first championship that CPCA drivers and WPCA drivers will be in. Ticket sales, new logos, and a driver list will be released in the coming weeks.
The future is definitely brighter in the chuckwagon world for sure.
Evan Kenny, Primetime Local Sports.
Now we will be taking a look at your pet pad pictures. Thank you to everyone who submitted a picture to our Facebook page, and we will be giving away a pet pad gift card at the end of the next hour.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the Pet Pad.
I'm joined here with Mark Leslie Lefebvre, publisher, and Peter C. Mitchell, author of Rude Awakenings from Sleeping Rough, which documents your time living on the streets of London. So for somebody who doesn't quite know, can you give some background into this book?
What it is, it's a recounting of my experiences with homelessness, and particularly with the charities. And that proved more horrific than the homelessness itself. It started because basically they clued in I was a great writer, and they thought, wow, this is someone who can do great writing promoting us. And I didn't because my main concern was doing the job, and my career back in Canada was writing. So I didn't, and it very quickly snowballed into pure abuse on their part. They forced me into housing I didn't actually need. They lied every step of the way. And then when I found out the truth, because I started asking questions of the right people, started threatening me with not direct threats, but implying that I was breaching data security laws, data information laws, and could be charged with that. It was merciless. It was relentless. It drove me to the point of suicide at one point. And then once I got into the housing, that just opened up a whole new world, because they all promote housing as the solution to this. And it's not. Housing itself is actually worse than being homeless. For the better part of a year, I still spent more time sleeping on the streets than I did in the housing I was forced into, for the very simple reason it was safer.
What can readers really expect with this book?
A hard read. It was very difficult to write for obvious reasons, because it was harsh experiences I was expanding on. And it's also, in one sense, not reflective of me as a person. I'm actually very happy-go-lucky, a total slacker. And the kind of writing I enjoy is, I like writing about the human condition, but in the positive ways, and more often than not by poking fun at myself. And in a sense, a bit of that came through in the book.
When I got the manuscript from Peter and I sat down to read it, he warned me what it was going to be like, but it didn't it didn't quite cover the fact that I was here in my middle class dream, sort of living the dream, you know, comfortable, safe. And this person I cared so much about, this friend of mine, had been going through these really, really dark things. So it is not an easy book to read, but I think it's an important book for people to read.
You know, you mentioned this, you want the people to see the behind the scenes of the charity and what happened. So would you say that's one of the biggest things that you would want readers to take away?
Yes, definitely the biggest thing. And what I would want them to do is, in one sense, whatever the country, because from what I understand, these experiences are fairly universal, to contact their relevant government MPs and demand, I suppose, an inquiry into the whole charity process, demand stricter regulation, demand greater accountability, definitely greater transparency, and easier for victims of abuse within the charities to take legal action against them.
And if anyone is looking, where can they find the book or other social media that you might have?
This book is available in paperback. It's available in hardcover. It is available through Ingram, the world's largest wholesaler. So you're not going to find it on bookstore shelves, because it was independently published, stealth-published, just to get the story out there. The ebook is available on every major platform. So, you know, here in Canada, it's on Kobo, it's on Apple Books, it's on Kindle, it's on Barnes & Noble Nook. You can find the ebook on Chapters Indigo. You can also order it through your local independent bookstore, which is what I recommend people do, because they can order it in. And we set the prices in such a way to try to use this not just as a messaging for getting the story out there, especially for not everyone is in Peter's position that actually still is able to convey the horror of what's going on for so many people. So sharing that story and helping people understand that. But obviously, the majority of the funding on the sales are going to help Peter as he climbs out of this hole.
Thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jasmine.
Coming up tomorrow is the 13th annual Here Comes Santa Claus in downtown Lloydminster. You and the family can head to May Cinema 6 for a free matinee. They're showing the 2018 version of The Grinch, and you and your family can enjoy that for free at May Cinema 6. And the doors are going to open at 9:15 a.m. and the first showing of the movie is at 10 a.m. There's plenty of different show times, and those matinees are courtesy of Crewmaster Transport. After you've enjoyed your free movie, you head over to the Anglican Church, where you can pick up a treat bag thanks to Dairy Queen, Fountain Tire, and also thanks to the folks at J-Guard Contracting. At 1 o'clock, head to the Olive Tree, where you'll be able to pick up a gingerbread house kit. The Lloydminster Kinettes will be there to set you up with that kit that Sobeys has put together. Also, thanks to Century 21 Drive, you can take that home, build a beautiful and delicious gingerbread house. And then tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, there's going to be a huge fireworks display thanks to Synergy Credit Union and Service Credit Union. And you can also still take part in the coloring fun and also the Christmas photo fun contest that makes up the 13th annual Here Comes Santa Claus this year. Full details on our website, realcountryloydminster.ca, and also in the Meridian Source. This year in Lloydminster, the annual Seniors Twinkle Tour is going virtual and it's going self-guided. The official kickoff is coming up Monday night at 6:30. That's when you'll be able to head to musgraveagencies.com and click through all the great pictures and take a virtual twinkle tour of all the beautiful Christmas lights and decorations here in the city. Also on Monday night between 5 and 6, you'll be able to stop by Musgrave Agencies and they'll set you up with a map so that you can drive around the city and take in all the beautiful Christmas lights. The Seniors Twinkle Tour this year, it's virtual, it's self-guided, and it gets underway on Monday evening. The Lloydminster Kinsman Club is back with their Christmas tree lot again this year, so you can head out and pick out a beautiful tree for you and your family to enjoy this Christmas season. And you support the Lloydminster Kinsman Club. Those funds are going to go right back into our community. Also new this year, you're able to get a tree delivered to your home. There's a form available on the Lloydminster Kinsman's Facebook page. You fill that out and they'll be set to deliver a tree to your home. If you're headed over to the Christmas tree lot, it's on Highway 16 West. Open Monday to Friday, noon to 9, Saturday 9 to 9, and Sunday 10 to 6. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, we hope you stay safe and stay healthy.
What's Happening is brought to you by Northern Factory Workwear, Circle Drive East, Saskatoon, and Highway 17 South, Lloydminster.